me tell you how you receive an Einstein visa. You're supposed to have some sort of significant achievement, like being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer, being an Olympic medalist, or having other sustained extraordinary abilities and success in sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. Last time I checked, the First Lady had none of those accolades under her belt.
I also want to defend Melania real quick. Not everybody could marry Donald Trump, and I think that's quite an achievement.
Jasmine Crockett has had enough. She has had enough, and she decided she's going to make it be known during a judicial committee hearing that she's going to call out MAGA's hypocrisy when it comes to immigration policies, specifically with visa requirements and the unfair advantage that no one other than the First Lady, Melania Trump, had when she came here on an Einstein visa, so it's the EB-1 visa, arguing that you have to have some kind of extraordinary talent or achievement to be able to qualify for this. And the person testifying is Alex, who is the Vice President of Economic and Social Policy at the Cato Institute. So she speaks with him and she questions the integrity. This is the funniest interaction that I have seen in a while in a committee hearing. Let's play the entire clip for you guys and then some closing thoughts at the end.
The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Texas, Ms. Crockett.
Thank you so much. It's interesting that we're being accused of wanting all kinds of criminals to be on the streets, or that we don't believe that people should show up to their meetings and appointments. Last time I checked, there's a lot of people that are actually being grabbed as they are going in for their appointments. In fact, we know that one of the candidates that was recently running in this mayoral, he ended up being arrested because he decided that he was actually going to escort people that are actually showing up to their meetings. Or we know that the Pope, yes, the Pope himself, decided that the church may need to have people that are going to escort people as they're going into their meetings, because the reality is that what they are claiming what they want to do versus what they're actually doing, the actions don't match up. And while we are supposed to be talking about visas, somehow we continue to cherry pick and talk about one criminal act and another criminal act. And it is so very interesting to me that, yes, we will say people are xenophobic, because when you start to decide that just because somebody came from another country, they are automatically some kind of criminal, that does sound kind of xenophobic to me, because you are using a paintbrush to paint an entire group of people where the vast majority of them are coming here because they are actually seeking a better life. But let me get to what this hearing is supposed to be about. The idea that Trump and my Republican colleagues want to restore integrity and security in the visa process is actually a joke. Let me be clear. Integrity is not snatching lawful visa holders off the streets and throwing them into unmarked vans. Integrity is not revoking visas based on social media posts that hurt somebody's little feelings because kids decide that they want to go after Trump or this administration. We have a thing called free speech in this country. And since we're talking about integrity, I'm confused as to why my Republican colleagues aren't talking about the lack of integrity when it comes to the president's family's visas. Let me remind y'all that Melania, the First Lady, a model, and when I say model, I'm not talking about Tyra Banks, Cindy Crawford, or Naomi Campbell level, applied for and was given an EB-1 visa.
She's talking about supermodel status.
That stands for is an Einstein visa. Now, y'all that don't know, let me tell you how you receive an Einstein visa. You're supposed to have some sort of significant achievement, like being awarded a Nobel Peace Prize or a Pulitzer, being an Olympic medalist, or having other sustained extraordinary abilities and success in sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics. Last time I checked, the First Lady had none of those accolades under her belt. It doesn't take an Einstein to see that the math ain't mathin' here. Nevertheless, what Republicans are doing with this reconciliation process, the travel bans and revoking visas, jeopardizes our national security. It threatens our communities, our higher education, and our economy. Visas like the largely vetted J visas for higher education and M visas for trade, training, attract the next innovators, medical providers, researchers, and educators that we need to build on American success. I'm not gonna mess up your name, so I'm not doing that. But I'm with you, okay? In your experience, do individuals on J or M visas typically improve or impair our economy?
They generally improve the economy, and I can give a brief example. My wife is a very successful woman. She makes a ton of money, which I'm grateful for. And The reason why we're able to do that while having 3 children is because of the au pair visa, somebody who is here on a J. Who is here and able to supply this for us. But I also want to defend Melania real quick. Not everybody could marry Donald Trump, and I think that's quite an achievement. So I think she deserves credit for that. Nobody up here could have done it.
You sure right. I couldn't do it. But anyway, in fact, J visa holders contribute $43.8 billion to the U.S. economy and support more than 300,000 jobs. And make no mistake, immigrants improve the health of U.S. citizens too, despite the fact we already have a doctor shortage. Trump's reckless travel ban and visa overhaul are exacerbating this crisis by impairing hundreds of hospitals with foreign-trained doctors set to do their residencies here in the United States, meaning fewer people will get the help they need and more people will die. Now, let me remind you that Republicans are trying to gut Medicaid. Roughly 4.5 million people receive caregiver services through Medicaid, and most of these folks are in red states. And wouldn't you know that in 2023, Kaiser Family Foundation estimated that almost 30% of long-term care providers or home caretakers were immigrants. It's like Republicans want Americans to suffer. Now, Republicans say visas make us less secure, but let's talk about how visas given to victims of crimes like rape, murder, human trafficking, torture, abduction, kidnapping, to help law enforcement with their investigation or prosecutions of these crimes. These folks are risking their own security for broader safety of Americans and our communities. Thank you so much. I will yield.
So that was posted by Forbes, so shout out for that video. I played the entire thing because I know people like to see the full uncut thing. There was a time when I probably would have said, you know, the First Lady, the president's family, kind of like, you know, just leave them alone. We are far past that, especially because Republicans wanted to focus so much on Michelle Obama throughout Obama's administration or his tenure in office as president of the United States. And so do it to them. Call out their hypocrisy. They want to talk about, you know, you have to come here to this country legally. You have to follow the proper channels. But it doesn't seem like the current First Lady followed the proper channels to come here for a better life. I love Jasmine Crockett. Read it into the record, baby. Read it into the record. Let them know that if you're going to fight fire with fire, this is how you do it. Call out the hypocrisy. The president himself, this is his immigration policy. People online, MAGA specifically, have said it doesn't matter how long you have been here. If you obtained documents or status illegally, send them back. You got one sitting in the White House. Do it. Part of me also, you know, Melania doesn't do a whole lot. She's just kind of there. She's just kind of there, and there have been some clips and stuff where she just looks like she is absolutely miserable. Just the inauguration, she just looked like she did not want to be there. This second time around, she looked like she just did not want to be there. She doesn't really do too much. She kind of just sits there. She just doesn't do too much. I feel like she's literally being held hostage. What, like, you know, hashtag free Melania. Let me know your guys' thoughts below. You know, I love Jasmine Crockett. I love how she always comes with a fire. She's a fighter. You know, she's not afraid. She doesn't back down. She reads the stuff into the record, which is very important for legality purposes. You know, she is out here. She is out here. She is one of the only Democrats that are really fighting. And because of that, she has become one of the most popular, you know, up there with AOC, surging in the polls. You love to see it. So Jasmine Crockett, always bringing the fire. You know, I was thinking about it this morning. You know, Texas gave us two good things: Beyonce and Jasmine Crockett.